Hello, students. We're going to review quickly the 6 questions for the program function and purpose quiz. I'm going to try to move quickly through it and try to explain some things. I know some of this is going to be very new to you, and I'm going to direct you to use the reference sheet that explains some of the notation and syntax here. So it says question one, and again, I'm going to maybe take a little more time to explain this. This is the assignment. So as the assignment operator, basically it says assign value to a variable or a holding place called result. So basically, it makes result equal to 2. That's what that means, that first little block. Then the second block, it says repeat 3 times. So it means repeat everything in that gray block 3 times. So what it's going to do is say assign a value of the operation on the right. So there's an operation going on the right hand side, and it's going to solve that first and then assign the result to the variable on the left. So the assignment operator, the order of operations is to compute whatever's on the right hand side first, and then the result or the result of that operation is assigned to the variable on the left. In this case, the variable is called the result. So this might be kind of awkward, but this is very common in programming. So basically, it's taking whatever the value is of that variable, it's going to multiply it by 5, and then assign it back to itself. So, and it's going to do that 3 times. And then at the end, it's going to just display it. So basically, what it's going to do is going to start with result being a value of 2, and then it's going to multiply that by 5, and then it's going to, so there'll be 10, and then it's going to take that and multiply that result by 5, so we're going to have 50, and then it's going to take that and multiply that result by 5, and then that's going to be 250. uh, so we are multiplying by 5 3 times, and the first number was 2. So let's see which one of these fits that best. And it can be kind of tricky. Sometimes, you can have a scratch paper that can kind of help figure this out. So which of the following operations best describes the behavior of the code segment? So they all have this 2 times, right? 2 times and then something. Well, it's not 2 times 5 times 3, because I'm not multiplying 5 3 by 3. I'm multiplying by 5 3 times. So right away, it's not going to be these first two. So A and B can't be correct. And then the second two, C and D options, and again, I'm not sure if they're coming in the same order for you, but the two options that say that it displays the value of 2 times 5 to the power of 3. That part is correct. That part is correct, but let's see where they are different. By initializing the result to 2, so that's correct, and then multiplying the result by 3 a total of 5 times, that is not true. It multiplies the result by 5 a total of 3 times. So if in my order here, the correct answer is D. It's 2 times 5 to the power of 3 by initializing the result to 2 and then multiplying it by 5 a total of 3 times. So that's that 5 times 5 times 5, or 5 to the power of 3. So we're going to move on to the next question. That was hopefully clear. Again, some complex syntax here, so I'm going to take some time to explain it. So we have behavior of mystery procedure with an if statement. So we have not studied much of this or any of it yet, so I understand if this is confusing, but hopefully it can also be somewhat intuitive, and it gives you an opportunity to look ahead to some of these things, such as conditional operations. So we have in the following procedure, assume that parameter x is an integer. So I'm going to say that the parameter x is an integer. So it says we have this big box, it's called a procedure, and it's called mystery, and it's going to receive a value into it, and it's going to be labeled x. So this big box is kind of like a function, is another name for it, or a method, or a procedure. So it's going to do some stuff, and the name of it is mystery, and it's going to have an input. Like it can work with different values, and whatever value we put in it, that's what we call the parameter, and in this case, it's labeled x. So what's going to happen with x? Well, first, we're going to check, is x less than 0? So this little oval here is evaluating whether x is less than 0. And then it's going to take the result of that operation and assign it to y. Okay, so X can be either less than 0 or not. So the answer is either it's true or false. So there's only two options. X is either greater than 0 or it's not. And then the result of that is going to be assigned to Y. And then if Y, so Y can be true or false. So then when it says here, if Y, display Y. So this if Y means that this little piece is only going to happen if Y is true. And it's going to just display true. So what that means that if X is not less than 0, so if it's 0 or greater, it just won't say anything. But if it is less than 0, it's going to display what? Well, being that X is less than 0, if that is true, Y is true, not the actual number, but true. And if Y is true, then it's just going to display true. So let's see which one of these makes sense. Um, if displaying it displays nothing if X is negative. No, because it's if X is negative, then it's less than 0. So if it's less than 0 or negative, it's going to display true. So this is not correct. It displays nothing if X is negative. So again, that's not correct. It displays true if X is negative and nothing otherwise. So it's C. Because again, if X is 0 or above, then it just nothing will happen. This will be false, Y will be false, and then this part doesn't happen because if false, this won't happen. So the answer here is C. It displays true if X is negative, otherwise it doesn't do anything.